Hey,
Hey,
hey Jay.
hey, what's going
Hey
on, man?
man. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Man, it's just been a crazy week, man.
It has.
First of all, I just want to thank everybody for the messages and the comments. Um, I'm getting a lot of people saying, "Hey, are you okay?" You know, and I think all of us are getting these, and
Even my
it's
neighbor, it's a
your
couple days
neighbor.
ago. I went outside. He's like, "Hey, you doing all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." Oh, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah."
Hmm.
Even my neighbor knows.
Actually, I got a message on Facebook from somebody. It said we were friends. I'm at almost 5,000 friends on Facebook, so I really don't know 4,998 of them. You know, but I get a message saying, "Hey, are you okay?" And it was from some lady, and so I write back, "Yeah, how are you doing?"
Yeah, who this?
I'm like, "Yeah, how are you?" And because I looked at the profile, and I saw an EVH guitar on it, I saw everything, so I'm like, okay. And they wrote me back, and they said I'm from Facebook, blah 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 blah. Uh, Apparently, whoever that was, they were hacked. So they were trying to hack me. It was one of those. I couldn't believe it. So immediately block,
Yeah.
delete whoever
So,
that was.
so in other words, for those of you who message Johnny randomly, if he doesn't respond, that might be the reason because he doesn't. Man.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it was the weirdest thing because on their profile there was a guy playing the EVH guitar, the star guitar, and so I really thought it was actually somebody writing to me, but it was bizarre,
Wow. That
bizarre.
is
But
bizarre.
yeah, that's right, Caleb. But yeah, but I'd like to thank everybody for just everything. By the way, we're live on YouTube, of course, and we're also live on Facebook. We're live on Johnny Bean TV on Facebook and within the Van Halen 1978 to 1984 Facebook group. And I see a lot of you in the chat here. We got 130 watching already. I would just like to say if you would like to have your name within the chat, the way StreamYard works is you have to click the link above, like there's a description above the video that you're watching on Facebook within that group. And if you would like us to be able to see your name within the chat, because for me it just says Facebook user, Facebook user. That's all it says.
Well, that's all their
Um,
names. They had that's
um, but yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody, and it's I think I can be a little more formal tonight than last time. Last time was just um, it's October 9th, 2020. It's about 8:12 p.m. Eastern, 5:12 Pacific. And let me just say, if you're brand new to the channel here, if you're brand new to these videos, uh, obviously we talk a lot about Van Halen, and this is very, very difficult for us the past couple shows. But if you like Van Halen, this is the place you want to be because we'll continue to talk about Van Halen and to celebrate Edward Van Halen and everything. So just saying, this is the place you want to be.
and Johnny. Before we get our buddy Cameron in here, all the way from Scotland. It's It's 1:13 a.m. where he is, so we're gonna try to get him in as
Oh
soon as
man.
possible. But when you mentioned about the people reaching out asking if you're all right and stuff, one of the cool things personally for me, I thought was, there was a handful of people that I haven't spoken to in years that we're obviously
Mm-hmm.
still friends and stuff, like people that I knew from middle school and high school and stuff, that actually either texted or messaged me and said, "Hey man, you're the first person I thought of when I heard about Eddie Van Halen passing away." And to me that was kind of cool because they still remember, when they think of Van Halen, I'm the first person that comes to their mind because they knew growing up with them that I was the biggest Van Halen fan that they knew. And that part of it is kind of cool to know that that connection. So
I'm getting the same messages. I'm
yeah.
getting those messages from people I don't even know. Which is amazing. Which
Well,
is
dude, you are the you. And I talked to a bunch of people about this already. Like, any Van Halen fan that has anything to do with YouTube, you are the Van Halen guy on you, like social media, pretty much. I mean, so I totally get it. Well deserved.
Thank you. Well, what can I say? I mean, we love Eddie. We love everything to do with Van Halen, and what I'm really hoping that some good that can come out of this is that this might sound kind of corny, but I would like all Van Halen fans to get along now. No Sammy versus Dave BS. It doesn't matter.
Right.
None of it matters. It's the music it's all Eddie. It always has been, and I would like to see just everybody just get along, and to celebrate this band. You know?
Can we all just get along?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Uh, so what? Where are my notes?
oh no, one of those. You want to talk to one of the guys that you know plays. I don't want to blow his spot up too much, but he is one of the guys out there that when he plays Van Halen stuff, it sounds like Van Halen.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Okay, let's see. I think here he is, and I feel bad. I feel bad because Cameron. It's like 1:15 in the morning.
Oh, it's all good. I'm used to the non-existent sleeping patterns, so I'm used to this stuff now, man. We're all good.
Mm-hmm. Good. Well, it's great to see you, dude. I mean,
Yeah, good to see you
I
guys.
hate it that I haven't seen you in a while, and this is I mean,
Yeah, it's definitely good to see you guys. Unfortunate circumstances, but good to see you guys all the same. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I know. When you got that guitar a few months ago, I guess now it's been. We were gonna have you on, and then I don't know what happened. But it looks killer.
yeah, man, it's pretty. Well, it's not left my side pretty much since Tuesday, so not really played it too much apart from yesterday to do that video. But yeah, it's pretty much been in my hands ever since.
mm-hmm.
And if anybody hasn't seen, after the show's over, go to Cameron's Instagram page, Cammy B1, and he put out a very cool tribute video playing, some Van Halen licks and just pretty much ripping it. So definitely check that out.
Very cool, man. Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah. Those are great guitars, man. I played a couple of them at the NAMM show this year, and everybody that we know that's getting them, they can't put them down. They're just
Fantastic, man. It sounds amazing as well. Stays in tune really well. The neck's like it's kind of like the see it's almost like the sort of normal Stripe series, but I think it's a little bit thinner. I don't know if they've maybe like made it so that it's like kind of to have that worn in feel or something. But yeah, definitely feels
mm-hmm.
like an old guitar. So
so then,
Cool.
do you want to? I guess. I mean, you're. Johnny's in his 20s as well, like you. But me being in
Barely.
my 43. I think you were born the year Balance came out, correct?
yeah,
So do you want to talk about maybe how you got into, some Van Halen stuff and playing guitar, I guess, in general?
yeah, man. Well, obviously I started playing guitar, like you guys know, when I was like 3.5. My dad showed me a couple chords, and even though I wasn't big enough to hold the guitar, I still became kind of obsessed with it. But the real obsession didn't come until he let me hear Van Halen for the first time. It was actually 1984 that he let me hear it for the first time. I was speaking to him about this today. Um, as soon as I heard Jump, Hot for Teacher, and Panama, I was obsessed, and it's been the same level of obsession, if not more, ever since then. Um,
Wow.
so I remember as well when I was a kid. Actually, I've got it over there. The Live Without a Net DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my mum went out somewhere. I can't remember where she was, but uh, basically sat and watched Live Without a Net all day, like with my dad from start to finish, and said to him when I was like, I mean, I must have been like this height. Said to him, I was like, man, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And yeah, Eddie was just a massive inspiration through basically, you know, from being a kid up until now. And you know, even though unfortunately he's not here anymore, he's definitely going to be an inspiration for the rest of my days. Um, but yeah, man, it's the guy shaped my life, you know, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now with music if it wasn't for Eddie. You know, I wouldn't have any of the endorsement stuff with Sir. I wouldn't have the following on Instagram, and you know, most importantly, man, I wouldn't know guys like yourself.
Well, that is the most important thing. You know,
Yeah.
knowing us. You know, I know.
Knowing Jay.
Just me. Just me.
Yeah, man. It's funny. I was thinking about this earlier before I came on the show. I didn't really know what to say because it's like I said, it's really unfortunate circumstances. But I think I was like 16 when I first saw your videos on YouTube, Johnny, and it was you doing the elephant trick. And I've been watching your page ever since then. You know, like I followed, you know, Howie the Dalmatian on Instagram, and I used to watch your show every Friday. Yeah, it's weird how life goes like full circle. You know, like I'm good friends with you guys now. I speak to Jay on the phone every single day, pretty much. Can't get rid of the guy. And,
hey, check the call log. Who's calling who here?
You're lucky. You're very lucky to know him. You know.
yeah, man. Well, you know, I consider Jay like, you know, one of my closest friends now, man. I speak to him all the time, and he's helped me out a shit ton with music. You know, so it's
Thank you.
but all of that, man, to go back is because of Eddie Van Halen and his music. So you know, the guy is definitely you know, a massive inspiration, not just with music, but just with life in general, really. And I think, you know, something that I've said to Jay a lot about recording and stuff, you know, for my own music and for sort of modern music, is I think a lot of modern music lacks the joy. You know, like a lot of modern like rock music lacks the joy that you see on things like Live Without a Net and you hear in the Van Halen music. So it's definitely, I think, important for guitar players of my generation and after me to try and sort of capture that and bring that kind of stuff back for sure. But yeah, I do it. I had like a whole bunch of things I was going to say before I came on the show, and it's all just gone out the window.
No, dude, I 100%. I'm with you, man. And you know, especially when emotions kick in and all this stuff's going around. But I got a cool question. I think is cool. Do you remember? And I'm sure you do. The first Van Halen song, or not, maybe not even song, but the first Van Halen, like Eddie Van Halen, maybe guitar trick that you learned. Was it the elephant from Johnny Beane? Is that your first?
First thing I actually learned when it was actually I learned like 4 or 5 chords, and then the first thing that, you know, like I said, I was like a kid, you know, like 4 years old, and I asked my dad to teach me how to do the whole tapping thing, but my hands weren't big enough, so I had to just use like 2 frets kind of thing like that. I probably pretty much had to use my pinky just to span 2 frets because it was a classic acoustic guitar that my dad had in the house at that point. So obviously those things have got huge necks. So like I was like learning how to tap on that when my hands were tiny, but that would have been it. And then another thing, you know those Music Yo Kramers. When I was like 8 or 9, there was one of those in our local music store. As soon as my dad saw it, he bought it like instantly. It was like, I've wanted one of those since like the 80s, man. Like I need to get it, kind of thing. So I was like, at this point, I was obsessed with like Les Pauls and Strats and stuff. And my dad handed me the Kramer, and he was like, "Right, I'm going to blow your mind. Push this thing down, watch the strings fall off the neck, and then play a chord, and it's going to be in tune." And man, ever since then, fell in love with Floyd Rose guitars.
That's great, man. Yeah.
So what was the first song?
The first song I ever learned by Van
Well,
Halen.
Van Halen song.
Man, I want to say either Panama or Ain't Talking About Love. One of those two. But you know, I became obsessed with wanting to learn Eruption. That's basically something that I wanted to do. But I think I've explained this to you before that my dad never told me that learning Van Halen was difficult, because he thought if he told me it was difficult, I wouldn't want to try it. So he was like, "Oh yeah, Eruption's easy. Just you'll be able to do that." So I basically sat and practiced it over and over again, and I was like, "Why can't I do this? Like, if it's easy, then why is it so difficult?" But I managed to nail it. So.
But you see, when you told me that story the first time, I was like, "Wow, it's like reverse psychology type of thing." Like, usually, I mean, everybody knows that that's not easy stuff to play. You know what I mean? And to tell somebody, like, usually it's like, oh man, it's tough. You're going to have to spend a lot of time on it. It's going to be tough. And then instantly you get it in your brain that it's hard.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, you could do it. No problem.
Like, yeah, 100%, man. He was kind of just like, oh no, it's not difficult. You just need to practice and then you'll be able to do it. And I learned it. And then it wasn't until after I learned it that my dad was like, I can't actually play that, but now you can. So that's awesome.
Now show me how to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been like that ever since, 20 years later.
Really quickly, let's say hello to Kurt Jeffries on Facebook.
Hey, Kurt.
Kurt. You guys, Van Halen fans, diehard fans will remember Kurt as the Lost Weekend with Van Halen winner back in 1984.
Oh, wow.
He got to spend, a couple days, Kurt, with Van Halen? He's the guy that gets the cake in the face on stage. You ever see that video?
I didn't you
the
guys
guy comes out
with Kurt?
There's a video with him and singing Happy Trails and stuff. Yeah, that's Kurt.
Nice.
Yeah, welcome, Kurt. Thank you for watching, man. Yeah, he's a great dude.
That's cool. So, Johnny, I don't want to keep it. I feel like I'm hogging it because I think it's because, I know all these stories about Cameron already. Oh, Cameron, can you tell me that again about how you...
Well, you talk every day on the phone.
Yeah, pretty much,
Well, I mean, I don't know. We're talking about, what I mean, this is called remembering Edgar Van Halen. So, I don't know.
Well, is there any specific like Eddie Van Halen memory or thing that kind of, you can kind of think of to talk about, or interview or video or something? I know we're kind of throwing you on the spot now, big time.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to
I don't know who he's talking to.
Talking to myself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Cameron. Like, what are some of your favorite Eddie like interviews? Like, have you seen a lot of them? Have you?
Man, I think I've seen every Eddie Van Halen interview on YouTube about 10 times over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I think probably my favorite one recently will be the one that he done. I think it's like from the Diver Down era, where he's speaking to, is it Steve Rosen?
Yeah, Steve Rosen. Steve Rosen, yeah.
Eddie's on like it's over the phone, like it's just an audio kind of thing, and he's like sitting playing, like licks and stuff, and showing little parts of Jump before Jump's even a song. In fact, no, actually, I tell you, my favorite interview by Eddie is the one that he done with Lisa Robinson from 1984, where he's talking about his father and talking about how him and Al used to make money back in the day before they were famous. And the thing I like so much about that interview is it shows Eddie Van Halen's personality perfectly. How he was a really humble guy. The interview. The person that's doing the interview kind of says to him, you're a big rock star, you should be confident. And he's just like, well, I don't look at myself like a rock star. I'm just a musician. That's what I want to do. And seeing how humble he was is probably my favorite interview on YouTube. Just a straight up, down to earth, amazing guy.
So that was at Van Halen's height with Roth, 1984.
Exactly.
Yeah, I used to have that interview. I had it on vinyl, actually. I had the radio station vinyls of that. Yeah. It was called The Inside Track with Lisa Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably say that's my favorite one. Just because sometimes when you watch interviews of like kind of rock gods, they're asked the same questions over and over again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that interview, it's kind of personal, and he talks about like growing up and the things that he likes, and just gives off. It's kind of, it almost gives you the sort of idea of what it would be like to sit and speak to him in a room without any cameras. That's why I like it so much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like interviews like that as well. When it's like, because you're right. I mean, you hear so many interviews with any rock star or any famous person for that reason, for that matter, and it's always like, oh God, the same questions. They're thinking the same thing. God, these questions you keep asking. Stop the tape.
Yeah.
But Michael Easter has a great question for you. He says, question for Cameron: what are some favorite deep track solos that aren't on the usual hits? He says he has one in mind, and I'm assuming he's hoping that maybe you pick the same one.
Deep solos. As in like solos from his songs, or just actual full Van Halen songs?
Well, deep track solo, like a solo off of a song that I guess isn't a normal hit on the record,
Van Halen 1, it would probably be I'm the One. Just obviously that's a pretty, popular song, just because it's crazy. Van Halen 2, my favorite solo on that song is actually the solo on Out of Love. Again, that solo is crazy. You're No Good on that one too. My favorite solo on 1984 is the House of Pain solo, just because it's so intense and super crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, that's a tough question. It's a really good question. It's a really tough one to answer.
I think what makes it hard is like there's not really, like, if you think about it, can you really go through Van Halen's catalog and like pick out solos that you don't like?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's solo. No,
I think actually my favorite solo off this might not be one that you'd expect, but off the Mean Street album, my favorite solo is the one on what's it called again? Man, I've taken a total like brain moment here.
What are the words?
Is this love? Is that what it's called?
So this is love?
So This Is Love. That's the one. The solo on that song is fantastic, man, because it shows how good like a blues player he was.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe I forgot the name of that song, man. I'm gonna like.
Well, did you forget the solo, or do you know it?
No, I don't know how to play it, but it's just yeah, it's that's probably my favorite solo on that album, man. But in fact, Mean Street is probably one of my favorite Van Halen albums, just because of the guitar playing on it, man. Like the riff in Dirty Movies is the coolest thing ever, man. Like,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. All everything off Fair Warning is just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe Fair Warning isn't as popular, but just because the fact that it doesn't have like the typical ballad or the typical hit, like hit single,
Man,
but when you look back, it's like,
I called that album the Mean Street album. This shows you how messed up my brain is.
we know what you mean. We know what you mean,
man.
That's a lot of diehard fans' favorite album is the Mean Street album. is Fair Warning. Because I think when that record came out, John Beale, are you here? Our producer, John Beale. I think that was like their least selling record at the time, or their lowest selling record, I think, when it came out.
Yeah.
I think it still is. If you go up through Balance, like up through Balance, I still think that that's the lowest selling Van Halen record. I could be wrong, but it might be. But yeah, most like Van Halen fans that are guitar players, that's the record.
I think I've never been like like what you were talking about earlier, Johnny. I've never been a Sam or Dave guy. I've just been both. Because I guess maybe because I was born in the 90s, I didn't really see the whole breakup of Van Halen and stuff like that. But each era of Van Halen, my favorite Van Halen album from the Roth era is 84, and then my favorite album from the Hagar era is 5150. They're both, in fact, they're probably my favorite albums of all time, man. Like, just there's I don't think there's one bad song on any of the albums.
And they're so close together too.
Exactly.
They're only 2 years apart?
Yeah,
2 years. So different though. That's the amazing thing about it. Like both albums sound like the polar opposite from each other. But I love the tone and the guitar playing on 1984, and then I love the songs, and obviously I love the songs on 84, but I love the songs on 5150, man. Like that album I could listen to all day, every day for the rest of my life
Oh
and never get
man,
bored. So
man, yeah, that was the first record I ever got was 5150.
yeah.
And then after that, I got the first album, and I grew up on both eras. But hey, real quick, Louie, Dancing Louie, good to see you, man, and condolences. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy, man. It's craziness. But yeah, I've been listening. I've been listening to a lot of Van Halen lately, and definitely the like 5150, like you were just saying, like that one. You know, that's just it's such a fun record. The music is just fun. I mean, they had so much fun back then, and I think, especially this week, that's a great record to listen to because it makes you feel good.
It's definitely, I think, especially that era of music and even in the 90s, like you hear that stuff and you can almost feel the same type of energy and feeling that the band had making that music. It's a weird thing. And you guys said it, like Johnny, you just said, 5150, when I listen to that record, it's just positive. Like I'm in a good mood, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's great stuff. And, when you listen to the, maybe some of it definitely two different, like the music, like Cameron, you said the 84 to 5150.
Yeah.
The music's completely different, but it still sounds like Van Halen. I mean, that's crazy.
I remember when I first got the internet, I watched that, was it Van Halen Unleashed, where they're talking about like recording the 5150 album. And I remember being a kid, like I said, when we first got the internet at the house, I never had anything like that before. So that Van Halen obviously was the first thing that I typed in to Google. And I watched that interview, man, and it, like you were saying earlier, Jay, it makes you feel so pumped just watching how happy those guys are and how like excited they are about like recording and about touring and stuff. And that is definitely, it comes across and it makes you feel good too. It's the exact same with all the albums, man. Like even OU812, that's a fantastic album as well, man. Makes you feel great. I wish it was turned up a little more.
Yeah, and had a little more balls in the pants, Yeah.
Yeah,
it just needs a little kick.
Yeah, Louie, Dancing Louie, dude. Yeah. Why can't this be love? Yeah, that's such a great song.
It really is, man.
I mean, and it's, I mean, that's one of the perfect Van Halen songs to put on right now, I think.
And who else doesn't?
It just makes you feel so good,
And who else doesn't? When the intro, when that ends, who else doesn't think of Eddie doing the, almost like hitting the stick, like banana. He does on Live Without a Net. He pulls the thing back. It looks like he's putting it into gear. I'm so corny. I love it. What would you say your favorite Van Halen riff to play and maybe lick to play?
Favorite riff to play, without a doubt, hands down, Drop Dead Legs, man. That's like the coolest guitar riff I think I've ever heard in my life. Super fun to play just because it's like such an aggressive kind of riff, but it sounds like it swings. It's got a nice feel to it and stuff, a nice groove. My favorite lick would be the big famous, that shape for any guitar players. The ice cream man shape. That's my favorite one. Anybody that's seen my videos on the internet and social media and stuff, they'll have seen me do that lick about 1 million times. So that one,
yeah.
Can you play it real quick? I mean, I know we're not gonna be able to hear much, but
I mean, man,
I love throwing you on the spot here.
Put me on the spot, dude.
Oh, you'll be able to hear it.
You hear that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm fucking it up already. I just saw you sure. I mean, one thing that I'll probably do this. My hands are freezing right now, but one thing that I can do is I normally tap it like that, like for the Instagram kind of stuff. But
you're taking a shortcut right off the bat, huh?
Yeah, straight away. Actually, funnily enough, I find it easier to play here than up here because I don't know, the bigger stretch kind of it makes it easier. I don't know if it's because of the cutaway on the guitar or whatever, but yeah, that's probably my favorite Van Halen like to play. That and obviously the sort of Spanish fly tap and stuff. But when you want to throw a Van Halen lick into one of your own solos and get away with it, you can get away with that one. But if you just start playing Spanish fly, then people are going to be like, "Well, that's not your solo, man. That that's Eddie's solo." So
yeah, big time.
you can get away with the other one though.
Is Michael Easter one of your buddies?
Michael Easter.
Yeah.
I've got a friend in here, Mike Patrizio, the guy that you played Xbox with once, man. But Michael Easter, I'm not too sure.
Well, he said it's 1:30 a.m. for your neighbors.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'd love to turn the amp up to 10 and blast it, but I'd probably get arrested, so can't do that.
Awesome. Do it. Man. Well, what time is it? It's 1:40 where you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump out and let some other cool people join in and speak to you guys.
Well, you have anything else you want to throw in before we kick you?
Before you kick me, man, I'd probably just say, just a big massive thank you to Eddie Van Halen for the lifelong inspiration and for his music, and just for everything that he's done for myself and you guys and everybody in the chat and all the fans all over the world. Is already a massive miss. It's been a really difficult week, and I'm sure all of us, my generation included, and the generation after me, for, like I said on Instagram the other day, people will still be listening to Eddie Van Halen for 100 years and more, and people will still be inspired by him. I'd probably just say thank you to the guy. Hoping that Alex and Wolf and the Van Halen family are doing all good, at this sort of time and stuff. But yeah, that's probably my parting words for that one. And I'll enjoy watching the rest of your show.
Well, thank you, dude. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for being here, Cameron.
Thanks for having me. I'll hopefully speak to you guys again soon at some point.
Yeah, I might talk to you soon.
Yeah, 10 minutes after the show's done, I'll get a phone call.
I've missed you. What are you doing?
Well, thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
I'll watch the rest of the show. Peace out.
All right. Bye, Cameron.
Cameron Brown, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he just left, so
yeah, we'll speak extra loud after. Yeah. What a cool dude, man.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. He's great, and he's such a great player, and it's just, I mean, he's a great example of the way Edward has just touched so many people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just totally inspired, and he said he was learning eruption at 3 years old. Is that what he said, or something?
Well, I guess 3.5. But before we get our next
3.5,
our next person in here, he told me a great story one time about how, because when he said I should have asked him to tell this story, but I forgot. And Cameron, I'm sorry, but he said that because his father, had that classical guitar that he would kind of play on,
mm-hmm.
and he wanted an electric guitar. And if I screw the story up next time you're on, Cameron, you can fix it. But basically, like, Cameron wanted an electric guitar real bad, and his dad kept making him wait, and then finally, when he got him an actual electric guitar, it was like, oh my God. And just ever since then, guitar, 100% electric guitar, just made him, it's like same type of thing. When you want something for so long, it's like, oh, I need it, So
mm-hmm.
I think that's a cool story as well. So his dad did a good job with him. His parents,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And real quickly, we can see everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. Vince Jacob is asking, did we see the interview with MTV's Chris Connolly? Dude, I saw that a couple nights ago. Somebody tagged me in it on Twitter, and I was blown away, man. I would say that's the most that anybody's ever seen inside that studio.
Yeah.
You know, aside from actually being there, and just yeah, it's a great interview. I don't know if it was ever actually aired or not.
I don't think so,
Um,
man.
I would say I would have seen it, but probably not because in 1998, that's when I was living with Desmond Child, and I was working in the studio everything myself, so I missed a lot of the Van Halen 3 footage, like the MTV stuff. So it's possible that was something that was shown and not I missed it. But it's amazing. Some of the stuff from there that I noticed. I noticed hanging on the wall. I think when they're walking up the stairs. I guess at the studio there's like an upstairs. There's a downstairs and upstairs. There was a Steinberger faceplate hanging on the wall, and it said 1984 on it.
Whoa.
Which
I missed that.
We've never seen. We've never seen that.
Johnny probably watched that back and frame by frame analyzed.
Oh, I did definitely because it was amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, it's all over the internet now. It's everywhere. But no, it's incredible footage. I mean, the interview is great. I mean, but just to see, you know, some other guitars and just other, you know, just to see some of that stuff was it's just amazing, you know.
Yeah.
Did you see the fair warning body? Gus says, yeah. The Rude guitar, the Rude body was in that. The Kramer 5150 was like in a case, which was very cool.
Oh yeah, dude! I instantly sent you guys that screenshot and was like, "What was it? What was the timestamp? Like 412 or something? 412. Bam! There it is."
Yeah. Oh, there was so much cool stuff, and all the music he has stored. Yeah. Apparently, I mean, it's in the news, you know. So I guess we can say it, but. From what I saw in the news, they're saying that Alex Van Halen and Wolfgang are going to go through a lot of the tapes and eventually, you know, see if they can find any unreleased songs, you know, that they could possibly put out at some point. Which I mean, it's amazing.
That would be awesome. Now, this might be a weird question and it might be blasphemy to do something like this, but maybe not. I think it would be neat. What if there's music on there? What if they took either songs that are recorded, but there's no vocals maybe, and they have Dave sing on them, some songs from now, like now David Lee Roth, and then maybe they take some other songs that are done, and they have Sammy sing. I'm just throwing something out there. I wonder if people, I'd be into hearing something like that.
That'd be incredible.
Yep.
You know what I would love to hear? You know what would be amazing? Is to hear Sammy and Dave sing on a song.
Dave wouldn't be signing together up for that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that'd be incredible. I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
Or even Johnny, even this, like, I mean, you know how it is nowadays. It's a lot easier in the digital realm to, like, you know, you could literally take riffs from different tapes, put them, you know, piece them together, and then have like Alex play, you know, put drums to those guitar riffs. You know, Wolfie put the bass. You know, you could literally piece together Van Halen songs. I mean, I don't know if I'm just throwing stuff out there. Who knows? But I'd be interested in hearing anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
definitely. What? David Roth is horrible?
God.
Nah, he's awesome. He's awesome. So let's see. Davey Van Sampen. Do you want to jump in? Are you ready? You ready?
What's up, man?
Hey.
Gentlemen.
Hey now.
Hey now. Good to see you, man.
Jay, nice to see you. Johnny, good to see you. Cameron,
to see
sorry
you.
I missed you.
That was intentional.
You're keeping us apart.
we can't have,
You don't
have
even-
guitar players on
You don't
screen
want
at
us to
once.
get
It's
together.
not allowed.
Yeah. No, Cam and I fortunately have spoken a few times, but only on Facebook and not even in person really. But no, he's a great guy, and I've been following him for a long time too. So
He's
love
good.
love what he does, man. He's funny too.
Mm-hmm.
Funny guy. I want to know what you guys talk about every day.
So does my wife wants to know too. How you guys talking to?
Do you talk to Cameron more or your wife more? That's
Nowadays probably Cameron. You know, I've been with my wife for 22 years, so probably I'd talk to Cameron more.
what a lucky guy.
Yep. Got a boyfriend on the side, you know.
It's beautiful what you have. It's good to laugh, man.
Of course, yeah.
It's been so sad. Yeah, but I was saying to Johnny, today's the first day I felt a little bit better, but I'm sure I'll get hit by the bug again at some point. It just kind of was coming in waves for me. When I got really sort of teared up the most was when I saw Sammy and Mike's address to the public the other day after the show they did in Catalina, and just seeing Sammy's eyes, like, and how sad he looked, it just got to me, and I just walked away from that, and then that was my moment of Waterworks, but you know, so I really wish I could have gone. I'm so close to Catalina Island to get out there, but I really didn't even know it was happening until last minute. So that birthday bash or whatever they did. And is it tonight too, as well?
It's the whole weekend, right?
Is it?
Well, his birthday's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Correct. And so it's a celebration of that, in addition to a little bit of a tribute to, I'm sure. And I'm sure the show's evolved a little bit since Eddie's passing, but I'd love to be there. I wonder how they're handling the social distancing and everything, though, too. But I'm sure it'll be an amazing show, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But
Dave, you're right, man. I think that was the thing for me too. Is like, you know, everybody handles things different ways, but when you see the posts, like, you know, Wolfgang's post, which is how I found out about it.
Yeah.
And then Valerie's post, that one got me real good.
Me too.
And then just seeing like you said, you could see the pain on Sammy's face. It looked like he aged. He almost looks his age now, like instantly.
Yeah. It goes to show
like
you.
Last week's video or picture to, you know, the late, you know, when you know, did the video for that, it's like, wow, you could tell it hit him pretty hard, really hard.
Yeah, man. It's funny you say that about the aging too. I mean, I really do think laughing is what keeps us all young too, you know, and that's what isn't that what the king would want for everybody too, is just be everybody having a good time. And, you know, I'm sure he's loving the celebrations that are going on, and the, you know, it's such amazing support for everybody. I mean, how could you ask for more, you know, when you go out, you know? Yep. But anyway, I'd prefer to be a little more uplifting if I can.
Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate his legacy. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, I've been. I don't have a drink of choice, but I need to crack some bottle of something open here. And what did he like? He's a Schlitz guy, right? So where can I find some Schlitz in a Pall Mall right now?
Speaking of Schlitz,
right?
I'll make this real quick. My father had a friend who got a gig for a radio station, and he was doing, you know, he was one of the guys that did like the ads, you know, the little promos.
Mm-hmm.
So he got, and this is back probably in the 70s or something, you know, and he said he was doing an ad at the end of a thing for Schlitz, and he goes, Schlitz, the most carefully pronounced beer in America, and he got fired. Now, to me, that's a great slogan. The Schlitz guy should have called him and said, hey, you know, but they fired him.
That's great. That's fantastic. What I heard that they're doing some service this weekend. Is that privately, of course, but Saturday I'd seen something Michael Anthony was releasing or whatever. Or I may be mistaken about that, but I'd also it'd be interesting if they did something like there was a candle vigil, wasn't there, at the Whiskey? I think on the night of they did something down there as well. Somebody had called me about that. I'm a little far away from there, but
a lot of the marquees at a lot of those clubs, I think they all mention Van Halen on them. I saw that at the Guitar Center. Is it on Sunset? Where his handprints are in the rock walk. I saw that there's stuff there, and then the corner of in Pasadena, where is it? Allen and
in the cement.
Where it says Van Halen in the cement. There's like a huge display there. Like somebody brought some chalk, and like people have written all over the cement there. I've been there. I've been there a few times, and it's very, very cool. And then Kurt Jeffries again.
With a guitar?
What's that, Jay?
Probably.
I think somebody left a guitar on the right there as well.
I wondered if anybody would do that. I mean, that's what kind of guitar?
It was a Squire. Yeah, no one's leaving a a tooth,
$25,000 Frankenstrat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt, that's awesome, man. Again, Kurt Jeffries. He was the winner of Van Halen's Lost Weekend back in
Kurt,
1984. Says he was interviewed on WMMR, Philadelphia Rock radio station Wednesday, and then one in Connecticut yesterday. Have plenty of Schlitz beer on my last weekend.
On the last weekend.
Yeah, that's what they had back in the day, back when Kurt was with Van Halen was Schlitz,
Dude, I saw their rider today that came across my feed too with of course M&Ms and everything, but everything else that was on there too, like everything down to three pounds of twisted pretzels and things like that and everything. It's cool to just look through all that memorabilia just for at least once, check it out.
Johnny, do you want to pull that up? I'd love to skim through that real quick.
You didn't see that, Jay?
I've seen it, yeah, but it's still cool, like to see some of the stuff that these bands ask for. I mean, we've all, if you're in a rock band and especially one of the biggest bands in the world, you're going to put some crazy stuff on that rider.
I know KY jelly is the last thing on that list.
I wonder why.
I'm pretty positive, but
I wonder KY.
Let's see. Maybe.
Where'd you get that shirt?
Oh, this one, I made this. I had to make it because I searched forever, but just one of those little T-shirt. I can't remember the name of it, but one of your design your own T-shirts or whatever, and then they charge you like $85 for shipping. So,
dude, it's like 30 cents for a shirt.
Yeah,
yeah.
The shirt's free, but the shipping is exorbitant. So, what do we got?
I don't know if this is the one that you saw, but this is like it's like a fun one
cool.
because it actually shows like the.
No, I didn't see that yet.
Now hold on, go back up. Right there, 2 full-length mirrors. Now one of those mirrors is for Dave. The other mirror is for the other 3 guys.
Maybe both of them are for Dave.
Yeah, both of them are for Dave.
It's a front and back for Dave.
Yeah. Oh, when he was wearing the chaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has to be able to see his backside. Yeah. I had that poster on my wall, man. The one of him looking in the mirror when he was wearing the chaps. You remember that one?
You just had his lower half cut out though and put glue.
Wow.
It wasn't glue.
Yeah. Yeah, so look at that. It talks about the tuning room. And then you get further down here, and then it shows you like all this stuff.
Do you see that though? I'm sorry to make you go back again, but keep going. Keep going.
This
Right
one's
there.
so much more detailed than the one I saw before.
Must be the same temperature as the stage, plus or minus 5 degrees. It's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it is.
Because of the guitars.
Yeah, because we all know that anybody that's played gigs, you hit that stage, and if it's especially like during the wintertime and stuff like that, that's when it's like terrible. But next thing you know, your guitar's out of tune. You're like, oh my God.
Did Ed ever talk about any secrets of, keeping, like when he's sweating like crazy, keeping his hand from getting all sticky on the fretboard or anything, or just playing through it, you think? I mean, I'm sure he just, powered through it, but, just curious if you've ever heard of him, like talcum powder or something like that or anything like that,
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I've never heard of any of that.
Because when we were playing outdoors, we used to play at before COVID here, we were doing all the shows at Palos Verdes Terranea Resort, and we were their '80s tribute band out there, and we play outside. So as soon as the sun goes down, everything gets covered with a little bit of water, and gear included, and it makes it incredibly hard to play. It's fun, and I mean, if you're just don't care, but if you're trying to be incredibly technical, it's a shit show. So just curious what guys like to do when they hit that issue.
Well, I mean, speaking from my own experience, I would wear a wristband on my only my right forearm though, because I hated getting it all tacky on the guitar. But my left hand, here. I never wore a wristband or anything. But then again, I wasn't playing 2-hour sets, so the sweat wasn't that crazy like it was for those guys back then.
Well, these are 4-hour shows that we got to play out there too. So it's like it's not, it's 4 45-minute sets, but after, going into that fourth set too. And then it gets cold, so you got to have like a change of clothes or something, just be prepared.
Mm.
I mean, I sound like I'm complaining about playing live.
Oh man, I got to tune my guitar before I go on stage.
It's an absolute blessing to be able to do so. And I'm really grateful. But I can't wait to get back to playing live shows. We've got one gig on October 24th coming up. We'll turn it into a Van Halen tribute show, but that's with my other group, Unchained, the all-girl Van Halen band, and me. So,
ooh, Van Halen. Or would it be Van Manen?
I think at one point they had asked if I was willing to go drag on it, and I said we'd probably be way more famous if I did, but we shall see.
Hey guys, who do you think drank what? 1 case of Budweiser to 4 cases of Schlitz. I'm thinking that the 4 cases of Schlitz were for Ed and Al.
Eddie and Al, for sure. Budweiser for Mikey?
Mike drank Bud, right? When he catches that can on Live Out of Net, that's a Budweiser.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing for Dave? Just a little tea? Keeping those vocals nice and lubed up?
Well, that 1 gallon of fresh squeezed orange juice, that was for him, and he squoze it himself. Picture Roth and those chaps. Pushing the orange.
You can't sing after drinking orange juice, though.
No, man.
No, actually, maybe that's how he gets those the extra, the harmonics. He gets that phlegm in the back of your throat and gets caught, and then you just kind of use it to your advantage, maybe.
That's what he would use for his excuse of forgetting the lyrics.
That's a secret.
Too much orange juice.
Wow.
Sorry I'm so dark over here today. I'm trying to be elusive.
Oh, man.
What else we got there? Room temperature drinks.
It's all the hard stuff.
So, Does it seem like they brought their own iced tea to the gigs?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, because it said iced tea up here, didn't it?
Did it?
Did it?
There was one that said they had three choices of tea. I forget what the selections were. Maybe it was just a variety pack, but they needed three options. I wonder how much was left over after each show too. How much waste they had. But
oh god,
all the beer probably got drank. But
well, I think they're sharing this with the crew as well.
there was one for like 24 Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups individually wrapped. I mean, some of those seem a little more difficult than just getting the brown M&Ms out. I mean, I got to be honest. You know, I don't think that's the hardest thing on the task list.
Wow, cheese.
Who is the cheese guy? That's what I want to know.
Oh, cheese! I love
Roth.
Oh, that was Roth. Yeah,
He was too.
the big cheese.
so to speak.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Eddie called him the big cheese.
Such a great line. Says it out of the side of his mouth, you know. Nobody's big cheese, so to speak.
It's good to see they're eating fruits and vegetables. I mean, that's good. Oh, here you go. Here's the tea. Oh, here's all the teas here. I think hot water.
Yeah. And the coffee must be kept hot at all times. So therefore they had to have well, it's not that difficult either, but just making sure everything was hot and ready to go all the time for the whole show too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the M&Ms. Oh, there's the Reese's peanut butter cups, the pretzels. Here you go.
Yeah.
3 pounds worth, I think.
Nuts.
Not 4 pounds, Jay.
So I know everybody knows this, but the whole brown M&Ms thing, it was to make sure that the promoter, or whoever was filling the rider and getting all this stuff, paid attention to the rider because of the elaborate stage show that they have with the, you know, all the stuff that they had to put on stage. And they made sure that they put something crazy in the middle, right smack in the middle, so that if the M&Ms were in the dressing room and they were brown ones, they know that they didn't read that rider and that they had to make sure that stuff was going to, you know, not kill anybody out there.
Mm-hmm. And you're welcome, Cameron. It's great to see you, man.
I have that problem all the time.
It's 2 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, no, back in the day, I think when they were doing the brown M&M thing, Roth put that in there because their stage was very, very, it could have gotten very dangerous if that thing wasn't looked through.
Right.
You know, they had all those lights. And I think that's why they did that. I think
he said that's the reason why they did it.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting into the cups. All right.
Yeah, it's 100 styrofoam cups.
Yeah, you got the cups,
three corkscrews. That's what I saw.
There's the one large tube.
Right? It's the very last. Is it the last thing?
one large tube. Wow.
What are those?
2 large garbage cans with plastic liners for trash.
I thought those were floor toms.
For trash,
Lars,
it says.
They had Lars's drum kit on there, huh?
One Tama set.
Sane anger. Only 3 packs of Marlboro cigarettes, huh?
That's it. Per person. Was Mikey a smoker too?
No.
Yes,
Was he?
he was. Never smoked in public.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know
never
that.
See it. Never see it.
Yeah, you never see it. I believe that's true. He did smoke as well, but he never did it in public or on stage. You do see him the back of the Women and Children First. You know, you do see that if that is a cigarette. I'm assuming.
Well, even if he didn't technically smoke, when you're hanging out with Ed and Al, you're smoking.
Yeah. Well,
He must have quit though.
It's that era too.
Didn't he quit? He must have quit though during the Sammy era, or at least late in the Sammy era, because didn't Sammy say like, you know, they'd take separate limos and separate cars and have separate this and that because
Sammy probably hated it.
Yeah, Sammy definitely did. Here we go into who smoked and who didn't. That's how.
There's one video of Sammy and Ed are sitting on the couch and Ed's about to spark up a cigarette and you can see Sammy like just kind of like, you know, tell Ed to not, you know, and or to hold off, you know, that sort of thing. So you can start to see that kind of irritation kick in a little bit there. But I'm sure Sammy smoked at some point, did he not? Probably. He's got that.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so because he was always about exercising and
yeah.
I believe he wanted to be a boxer when he was younger.
Mm.
So he was always. Yeah, I don't think he ever smoked.
The only Sammy boxing reference I can think of is that when they're in that locker room scene, right to go on stage, and they're in the parachute pants.
Yeah,
and he's doing that rabbit punching.
Yeah.
I love that too because that just yet again to the silliness of those guys. I mean, I know they weren't always that way, but that's how I like to remember them though. Like in their high points like that, like just having such a good time together. It's the same way with our band too, like, or any groups, anybody that's in the band, as soon as you get together with the guys and the music's going and you're vibing with the crowd, like it's I don't know that there's too many better natural feelings out there in the world.
I'll be right back, guys.
I'll be right back.
Man. Tyler, you want to jump in? Do you know Tyler Morris?
I do now.
Do you know him? Hey, man.
Hey, everyone's getting a haircut. What's happening here?
Yeah, no, I did. I got a haircut. I was like kind of torn off on whether to do it or not. And I did last week finally. But probably gonna grow it out eventually.
How much did you take off?
Well, I was like down to here probably.
Whoa, that's a lot. That's a ton.
Yeah, everyone. I didn't really make a statement on Instagram, and like already some people are messaging me asking, what happened. It was intentional. I was joking about selling it to Elton John for a wig. It was pretty funny, but no, we didn't keep any of it. It took off like 10 pounds basically.
Wow.
Oh man.
Just a random I'm done with it type of scenario, or any specific reason, or
it was getting like a bit hard to deal with, and yeah, I mean, especially I sometimes I play golf, and I need to wear a hat kind of thing. You look at those pictures, for example, Eddie used to play golf and he had the backwards hat. Like I would have that kind of thing going on. So there's that, but also I kind of grew it out because my label wanted me to grow it out for a new album, and we're and 2 tour dates, and I don't have any tour dates till I'm doing a Van Halen tribute in February. So I figured, okay, I don't have tour dates, so it's serving no purpose at this point. So, but I always wanted to have long hair, and it was pretty cool. For like 6 months, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I'll probably do it again, but I don't know. It like for now, I got this haircut. I found a new guy, and it looks pretty good. It's a little messy now because I just got back from a gig for like 2.5 hours, but
So you had the perfect hair for the Van Halen tribute.
Yeah, no, I did. I might have slightly, long here for it in February. We're gonna have it in September, so I had done it in September, but there's I don't allow anyone to really be out in Massachusetts. I don't know how it is in California, but it's here it's like you can't have any shows or anything. Oh,
Right.
did
Yeah.
you lose everyone?
Yeah. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can
Sorry,
see you.
guys.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm still here. Yeah. Out here. No, there's not really any shows or they're
Yeah,
outside. I
Massachusetts
guess
is-
outside. Everything's
Yeah,
outside now.
I just did like an outdoors gig, although it's freezing cold. I had like 4 layers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm having a job interview on Monday, so I might end up moving out to California, which would be nice.
Oh wow.
That'd be real nice. So
Awesome, man.
at least for heat purposes.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah,
yeah.
the weather's nice. And Kurt, you know who Kurt Jeffries is, right, Tyler?
Yeah. I think from last time.
He was the winner of the Van Halen's Lost Weekend contest in '84.
Oh yes.
He was the guy that got the cake in the face on stage. If you ever
Wow.
saw that video.
Wow. No, I've seen that many times.
The second night of the Lost Weekend, I had the worst hangover of my life. Alex got two Schlitz malt liquors out of the fridge, gave me one and said, "Ready, go." Oh yeah, man! I remember you telling us that story, man. Oh, that's awesome, man. Kurt, you have to come back on sometime, man. Definitely. So Tyler, man, how are you doing as far as what's going on, man?
I mean, well, in terms of Eddie, like I don't know, maybe I'm just weird or something, but like honestly, the last few days I was like devastated, super crying. I still am. I've not been crying today yet, but like I mean, this guy, I was just I tried to describe it to one of my friends. He didn't understand why I was so torn up. And I tried to say, this kid I was friendly with in high school, and I was talking to him the other day, and he's like, it's been a few days. I don't know why you can't just get over this. You didn't actually know the guy. And I said, look, you're the only person who really I talked to in high school and middle school. Like Eddie Van Halen was my only friend, really, you and him. I would spend 8 hours a day trying to learn the guitar parts. I would dress like him. I wear the Van Halen shoes every single day. I had every color. And I saw him like 5 times. I drove and it's just like not even the playing. I just immersed myself in watching the videos, his interviews, and it's just it's almost like someone on Facebook described it as they never understood why people were weeping over when Princess Diana died until this happened. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, I've been in inches of the guy. I never got to meet him. So, I mean, there's that part where I guess it's my own selfishness where I'm like, okay, I would love to meet the guy or jam with him. But the other part that's just really sad to me is, his relationship with Wolfie, and just I just don't know how he's gonna deal with that. I mean, it's just pretty traumatic. They were so close, and also Wolfie being pulled out of high school so young. It's like his dad was his best friend, and I can relate to that too. I mean, I do a lot of stuff with my dad, so I feel really more bad for Wolfie. I mean, we're all just fans and whatnot. We didn't actually know the guy, but more I've been sad kind of at, wow, can you believe this? And but then there's the other part of me is I spent the last every 5 years I was always looking forward to a new chapter in Van Halen. Since 2012, then 2015, okay, in 5 years, and I thought they were going to reunite with Michael or Sammy or both, or have Dave there. I don't know what they're going to do, and it's just now, that's never going to happen. There's no new music, and it's just it's depressing. But then I did watch the MTV thing the other day, where Eddie talked about how he picked up the Right Now tape from '83. And I didn't even realize, or I forgot, I think I knew it a while ago, that was written before Jump, and he just picked that up on the ladder. So, I mean, I hope that he had said in that interview, I'm the only one who can catalog this. I hope he cataloged that. Or even if he didn't, I hope they look at all the stuff he's ever done. Because if he just picked up the first thing and came up with a song like Right Now, I mean, imagine if you meticulously went through all of the stuff that's there. I mean, you could get so much material that, I know Wolfie has said many times he wants to do his own thing. So I don't know if I suggest he does it, but maybe, Al and, I don't know if I would get Dave, but Al and whoever wants to be with him, like Al and Michael, maybe even get Sammy in there. And, I mean, you can never get anyone to play like Eddie, but, I at least go through some of that material. I would like to hear what's on there, but I really don't. I had said to myself, I said, okay, like, I'm pretty much prepared for any sudden rock star passing away. It is back in like 2016, whenever Petty died, or 2018. I said, okay, I can pretty much handle anyone, be sad for a day or two. But, if Eddie Van Halen ever goes, like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. Because, I mean, that guy is just such a part of my life. And even now, I'm looking around the room, and I can't look around even my bathroom or something without seeing EVH on a poster or a wall, or something. My car keychain, has it. I have the Frankenstein keychain. It's hard. I don't know.
Have you stayed off Facebook, or are you searching around? I mean,
yeah, I've gone through phases. I mean, there was like the first day, I just, every time I went on Facebook, that's all you saw.
Yeah.
And then now it's like half of what you see. But now I'm more trying to search what Wolfgang and Valerie are kind of posting. Because it's like that part of me who I want to know, if he, like, near the end, if he was happy and whatnot, if he, it sounded like it was pretty bad few days, but I mean, if, he got I don't know, if he got to hang out with Wolfie and, whatnot, if he was up and about really till those last few days. So I'm waiting to hear those more details if they release them. But if they don't, it's the private business. I don't care if they ever release that stuff. I mean, that's, family matters. I know someone who, I won't mention who, a fellow rock star from the 80s who lives on the same street right next to Al. And I remember talking back to him December, and even then he had mentioned, how Eddie had been flying internationally. And I just thought, like, okay, I'm just gonna, I know there's rumors, but I'm just gonna, say that, okay, he's going on trips or something. I'm not gonna even put that in my mind. But I know I talked to him recently about it, and he obviously thinks it's a sad situation as well. And I don't know if he's talked to Al or not. I assume he sent his condolences, but yeah, it's I mean, everyone's feeling it. John Cruz too. I spoke to John Cruz yesterday, who used to be at Fender, because I have a body out there that he's helping me refinish this vintage guitar. And I was talking to him about it, and all we talked about is Eddie. It's really anywhere you go. But it's like, the thing is, I don't know if I don't want that to stop, because I
don't either. Yeah.
I want people to stop talking about them and forget. So it's
Oh no, no.
I think it's no one's gonna stop talking about them, but I think it's. I mean, I don't. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I told someone the other day, hey, I think we haven't seen a loss this hard since like Michael Jackson. I don't know if that's maybe that's just us in the EVH bubble, and
Well,
no one else cares about Eddie besides.
no, Eddie Van Halen is the same level as Michael Jackson. I mean, it's the same. I mean, you got. I mean,
Yeah, where do you go from there? That's the top.
I mean, all these guys from all these '80s, all the guys that were huge in the '80s. Prince, Michael Jackson, Edward Van Halen he's definitely on the same level as them. And yeah, because I was talking to my parents called me. We talked the other day, and they were the same, like asking me how I was doing and everything. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's all over the news there because they live somewhere else. I'm like, oh, of course, it's worldwide.
It's on every mainstream news outlet here too. Local news. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm happy that it is. I don't know if I don't know what Wolfgang's perspective. I don't know if maybe he wishes it wasn't all over. Maybe wish it was more private. Given he's been doing those douche of the days the last few months, so I know he's getting pretty. You know what? I was really pissed off last night. I was getting ready to go to bed, and I'm reading some of Wolfgang's comments, and he posted that whole message that you could tell his heart was breaking, where he first posted the announcement, and someone wrote to him, "Quit smoking," period, and he writes back, I don't even know why I bothered responding to the guy. I would just delete him or something. I wouldn't even be reading this, if I was like, this is such a hard thing for him. I would just be like, forget these trolls. Like, I'm not even gonna look at it. But he evidently, wanted to respond or whatever. And he said to the guy, he's like he stopped smoking many years ago. So I that's the answer, I guess, to the question earlier. I saw that, but I mean, how insensitive of someone to just, write. They just think he's not going to look at it. And even if he isn't going to look at it, I mean, why would you write something that insensitive? Troll like a death post. I just can't even imagine that.
Yeah, it's just a total lack of awareness.
It's the internet. It's the internet, man. I mean, there's trolls. I mean, left and right, and I mean, it's always best to ignore that stuff. But sometimes,
Oh, there's even a comment here
on YouTube.
Yeah, a comment about how Wolfie will be fine because of his money. I don't think that's the point.
Yeah, that's
so.
Well, that's no, money isn't everything.
And the thing is, Wolf, it sounded like he was getting mad, like not before all this happened, because of with his album that people were just like, oh, you're just gonna make a Van Halen record, and he's trying to say, no, I want to do something different. And I mean, I know a bunch of people who are kind of the children of these people from 70s and 80s and all these bands, and almost everyone I know who's a children of someone who's that, I guess, well, not all of them are as big in magnitude as like Eddie namesake, but some of them, their bands are. And I mean, these people, they want to do something different. They should, because the problem is, if you get someone like Eddie and you're trying to play guitar and you're always getting compared to him, or play guitar like that, it's just there's no way. And I mean, if Wolf was, if what all he wanted to do was play in the style of Van Halen or a similar style, there's many bands, I would say go ahead. But if he finds, I don't know if he likes something more mellow or he likes something, whatever it is. If it's different, I see no need that he should have to play Van Halen. Other than, if he wants to pay tribute to his dad, he can do that. But, I don't think Eddie would ever, as the innovator is, I don't think he would ever be happy with his son just kind of doing what he did. I would think he would want to do
like Frank Sinatra Jr.
Mhm.
Like was doing a Sinatra thing, yeah, like the same type of thing. No, I mean, no, anything Wolfgang does, it's still going to be Van Halen because he's a Van Halen, and Wolfgang's music is the next generation of Van Halen music. And
I really, I want to hear the record. I'm excited by the fact that he said it's going to be completely different. Because I don't want to, I guess example. I don't like bringing it up because I know it's like mixed opinions. But like you take like Greta Van Fleet for example. Like I don't really want to listen to them. They're just doing kind of what Zeppelin did.
I've never heard them. I've never heard them.
I've never made it through a song. Earlier today, someone was posting this. And then I commented. Someone posted like a Greta Van Fleet thing, and but it somehow it like had something to do. Maybe it was an Eddie post, and they commented a new Greta Van Fleet song, and I said posting that in relation to with any relation to Eddie should be like a crime on Facebook. You should get banned for doing it. And I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't like bashing people, but I mean, those guys are just trying to be a lesser version of Led Zeppelin. Why would you when I do my thing, my solo thing, it's my band and we do something that I would like to think is original. We do original tunes, but when I want to pay tribute to Eddie, we're pretty clear about that. We do a tribute band, and I don't use wigs or anything, but I use the guitars and whatnot. But when I
play the music,
but when I play my own band, I know like I was talking to Tracy Guns about this, and he has I know sometimes he pulls out the Star guitars, and he has a different opinion about that. But I'm not gonna. I might love playing the Frankenstein. It might be my best playing guitar ever, but I'm not going to pull out any of those guitars for my own thing. It's just not like my own thing. Recently, I've been digging P90s, and I'm not purposely trying to use P90s. If I wanted to use a single pickup Strat, which I have in the past, I'll do it, but I'm not going to use one with Eddie stripes on it because it just I just think it's been done, and I guess there were bands, and there were a lot of bands in the 80s that some of them actually you look at Striper or something, they actually did take those striped Charvels and try to use them. I don't think Lynch ever did, but there's one other because I guess Charvel and Jackson sold
there was
striped patterns.
Yeah. That's why Eddie. That's why he had a problem with the company, because they were putting out guitars that looks very similar to his guitars. And actually, there is an example. There's a Rick James, like on Saturday Night Live or something, and the guitar player is playing one of those Bumblebee Charvels.
Oh yeah, and I know Bonamassa, I don't know if he bought it or Mike Hickey bought, but one of them has one, but Joe might have bought it because it's like one of the Bumblebee ones.
Yeah.
That
is it a Bumblebee that he plays, or is it the Frankenstein one that he plays?
I think he got a Bumblebee. One of the 70s Bumblebees.
Yeah, it's a Bumblebee. I don't think they ever made the Frankenstrap, but they did a few of the Bumblebees. I don't know how many, because they made that for Ed. Although I remember like he hated that guitar. He hated the weight of it. He hated everything about it. And they got like a real. I actually I have a similar. I got at the first purchase I got was at Norm's, when I was 15 or something, this Charvel splatter that's master built by Grover. And at the time I was endorsing Grover's company, GJ2, with John Gold, which stands for Grover Jackson. So he had built me some of the like GJ2 guitars, but I thought this was super cool. It's like a John Cruz, like Paul Waller, one of those master builts, but in the Charvel line. It's really cool. It's over there, but it's a splatter one, and it's just like what Eddie would have played it. I mean, it has brass tremolo, brass tuners, and it has the really cool, forget if it's on the side or the top, but either the side or top, one of the dots are like actually inlaid brass, like how they did it. And it's really cool because I had
that's cool.
I had my tech set it up just like Eddie would have, because back then he wasn't even using the Floyd. So I just wanted to see, okay, can I do a whole show and stay in tune just like he did, because he had some tricks with the strings. And so I made it work. You have to like finagle the trem in the middle of the show to get it to the fulcrum to go back to the point. But it's I do have something like that just so I have the idea of what that would feel like playing something like that.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So what are what are your earliest memories about Eddie and like Van Halen, and like what songs? What was the first Van Halen record you got?
Well, I remember the first time I ever heard them was that, that scene Superbad where I forget if I've said this on this show or not, but because I tell this a lot because Eddie's a huge part of my life. But and Superbad, when they're shooting the police car and they have the whole scene, they're playing Panama.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear what Roth was saying. Like, I'm like, what's he saying? And like, it never occurred to me we'd be saying a country. But I started looking up the soundtrack to that movie, and I found on YouTube, that was Panama. So I'm like, wow. So I just started listening to some solos, and I'm like, oh wow, I really need to check this band out. And I think the first record I went up and I got them, a few of them to check out. But I think I got Van Halen 1, Van Halen 2 in 1984, and I try to listen to in order, which I've been doing the last few days. I'm up to Fair Warning now. I've been listening to everything straight, and that's like the first. That's the first in terms of albums. But I remember trying to work on Eddie stuff. I would every year or two I would think, oh, I got this stuff, at least these few songs I've been working on down. And then the next year I would realize, oh, I'm doing this wrong, and totally reinvent my playing. And I reinvented my playing like 3 or 4 times just because I realized I had this revelation, oh, I've been doing this whole thing wrong. And it's that kind of experimentation. You watch Eddie, and he talks about how he came up with the stuff by breaking the rules and doing stuff wrong. And it's like, I came up with my sound by comping Eddie stuff and getting it wrong and coming up with different licks. So it's like the whole cycle of that's what he did, and I on Clapton and Blackmore and Uli stuff, and I'm doing that on his stuff. And I when I go out and do the tribute, I think I got it down enough where like I'm no one will ever get his groove totally cold, but I think I get it down where I know the correct positions and whatnot now. But I'm saying all those licks I made by mistake, those are my own variations that when I do the solo thing, those are my licks now. And, that's another way he inspired me, just reading, his whole mentality about no rules and mistakes or where you get stuff and experimentation. It's inspired me in life too, because in education, I'm a engineering student, and I like to experiment. I like to tinker, like Eddie would tinker with the pickups and the guitar, and that's all engineering. My professor once said to me, he's like, "Hey, Eddie's an engineer. It doesn't matter if he has a degree or not." So, I do that too. Whereas a lot of my peers and even some professors, they look in the book, they read the theory and the math, and they don't experiment. And it's like Eddie said, when Wolfgang went to that time where Wolfie went to kindergarten, and he tried to improvise because Eddie told him about when he plays up high, that that's called improv, and the teacher gave him a timeout, and he threw like a puck or something at the teacher. I was watching this interview yesterday. It's like, well, why should teachers be punishing you for that, whether it be music or a different subject, for experimentation? Because the textbooks, all this stuff, they explain stuff that people have experimented. So why not make your own experiments, your own observations, and then you can try to explain that. Like people have been trying to analyze Eddie, but he's the guy who did the experiments and came up with the stuff. So he's inspired me, mentality and music wise, both of those ways.
Is Dave? I hope Dave is not frozen.
No, I'm all ears.
Oh yeah, his screen's frozen.
Your screen is frozen though.
Dude, okay. I was like, man, because when I was downstairs, Jeannie has it on, and I saw him sitting there like this for like 5 minutes straight.
When you
Jeannie's like, is he frozen or is he not blinking? I'm like, God, I hope he's not frozen. I hope he's literally sitting there.
Get this going.
When you said Dave, I thought you were talking about Roth for a second. I'm like, oh, what did Roth post now? he's been pretty good, but I mean, like, I don't know what I don't know how I think of Dave as a person now, because the fact, like, knowing now that I guess Eddie was sick and that he did all this kind of, he wanted to keep it a secret, and Dave did all this kind of behind the back kind of stuff in these interviews where he was talking about him being sick and stuff. And then Sammy, I guess Sammy like one time said in May, Van Halen will be out touring, next year. And, now that we know that Sammy communicated with him, to me, it looks like, hey, Eddie told everyone, can you please respect me? And Dave's out there saying, I want to do my own thing. He's calling Eddie for gear questions, not really calling him as a friend. And Sammy's respecting his privacy, trying to make sure rumors don't get out there. And Dave goes and does these interviews. And, I don't know how I feel about Dave as a person. I don't know if that was intentional or if, he's just kind of, I know he's crazy, but, I don't know if, like, maybe he just can't. Yeah, like I know some people who are on the road crew.
Yeah, well, let's quit while we're ahead here.
Yeah,
and just look at this cookie.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Wait a minute, are those special sprinkles?
No, that's only on the Late Show, John.
I thought that was gonna be like a brown M&M joke or something. Like,
so do we have somebody else wants to pop in? I thought we were doing like a round robin thing here.
Yeah, I think I sent him a thing. What's his name? Alan. Alan, are you still here, Alan? I sent him a Alan, if you're here, I sent it to your Facebook. Man. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't see any of that about Roth. Yeah, Alan, check out your messenger. I don't know. I mean,
Who else wants to come in here? Jeannie, you want to come in?
Where are we?
I'm not still
6:40.
frozen, am I?
43.
No,
Well,
you're fine.
your mouth didn't move when you said
You're
that.
fine.
No.
It's a lot of fun like this, man.
Do I still look Halloween and spooky with my shadows?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. There we go. Playing around with lighting today. How's that light in your face right there? Is that cool?
Dude, you're
Yeah.
frozen.
You're frozen.
Oh man, come on.
You've been frozen
For days.
Robot Master Switch says streams for Van Halen and 84 soared 900% and 360% respectively, while sales leapt 7,650% and 9,235%,
Oh my god.
according to Alpha Data. Wow,
It's unbelievable.
that's insane. It's kind of expected though. I remember when stuff happened, like when Michael Jackson passed away. You know, same with like Prince and all that stuff. When that stuff happens, I mean, you know, people go crazy. And I heard that like the EVH stuff, like guitars and everything, like they're just selling out right now. Everyone's buying them.
Where are they selling out though? If you go online, you can still see it. I mean, you can still like Sweetwater and stuff. You mean, or what?
I don't know. I haven't checked, but that's what I don't know if somebody told me or I just saw it in on a post or something.
I've seen some Music Man's going for about 8,000 now.
Oh my God.
They were already up to 5, and I was like, I'm not getting one.
Yeah, I'll make you one. Send it to you for free. How about that?
Yeah.
Dave Lavallo says back ordered the Frankie's been on back order ever since the first wave went out. I mean that thing, you know. Then they didn't because I ordered one as well. And according to somebody at Fender, at the time I ordered mine, they didn't know when they were going to be back. They said it might be January till I get mine, which, hey, that's fine. I'm fine with it.
I just actually, ironically, I got mine 2 weeks ago. I ordered it from Fender in January or so. And I think, they originally quoted June. And it was like, I don't know, up until like 2 weeks ago, because I was supposed to have the Van Halen tribute in like Labor Day, and with COVID, it didn't happen. But no, I just got mine, and yeah, they're super back ordered. I can't even the Bumblebee.
So they make them to order now. So you placed the order, and they started working on it after you ordered it, or I mean, pretty much.
No, I just think it was the most pre-ordered guitar ever made.
Wow.
Before they even came out, the pre-orders were just like through the roof. And it's not like they're making them to, you order them and they make them. Like they're trying to make them, but with everything that's been going on, obviously since March, production with every guitar company pretty much has slowed down.
Wow.
So, I'm sure they're trying to catch up.
What do you guys think of the Eddie Van Halen signature Wolfgang versus the regular one? I've never checked out one of those. I'm curious.
What do you mean the regular one?
So there's like the signature one that came out that has the kill switch.
Yeah. There's 2 USA versions that have the kill switches. Those are considered the signature ones. Mm-hmm. And then you mean the regular ones as far as just the ones without the kill switches?
Yeah, like I mean I have a Stealth, and I'm just wondering, I've been eyeing this thing for a year or two, and I'm wondering is the neck going to be totally different, or the pickups better, or something, or I'm hesitant to draw a kill.
What Stealth do you have? Do you have the Special or do you have the USA?
Right when the Stealth came out, like after 2012 tour, I picked one up used, and I was like, I gotta have this. He's not using maple anymore. And then they came the signature one, and for years I was debating about putting in the kill switch in my guitar, and I'm like, well, maybe I should get this one. But if the only difference is the kill switch, I could save like $3,000 or whatever they're going for.
what I'm saying is your stealth, is it a USA stealth or is it a Mexican?
Oh.
Like, is this?
I have a USA one, and then I have a hardtail Japanese special before they started going to Mexico.
Wow, those are great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, the
those are great,
Japanese
man.
ones are. But
Those are
the USA one is the one I used for the Van Halen show.
So you have a USA stealth.
Yep.
So the only difference would be is the chrome hardware,
Mhm.
the kill switch, and then the neck pickup is an Alnico. The magnet in the neck pickup is different than the. Like, you can't buy the neck pickup in the signature model, like the one that you can buy. You know, the USA Frankenstein or the Wolfgang pickups.
Yeah.
They don't sell the neck pickup that's in the signature model. That's only available in the signature model.
And then
Right.
I read something about the neck profile. Is it that different or is it comparable?
If it's a USA, it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, all the USA guitars, they should be all the same. Yeah, Alan, there you are. All right, Alan's here. Do you guys know Alan?
Alan, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Al?
Hey, man.
It's been a weird week. I think I can tell you when I found out maybe about 10 minutes after Wolfie's post on Instagram, and I called my buddy Kevin Dodds, and Kevin was having a hard time, man. And I haven't really, I haven't kind of had that much of emotion about it. I'm kind of in the same spot that I was in before, which is I'm still focused on the music and trying to learn it. And about the only observation that I could make about what's going on with him and surrounding his passing is that it's I feel like that there's a distinct lack of emphasis on the music, as crazy as that is. It's more about his personality, the fact that he was married to Valerie, the Wolf, the different lead singers, the party band, whatever. But it's really not many people are really speaking too much on the music, and I only hope that the things that end up coming out of this would be musical. Like they're going to do something. I hope that people really start working on the transcribing and getting it right for a change. I hope that somebody, starts releasing some fun little gems. I mean, I had said it would be great even if they put out the official videos in like a 4K transfer or something. It doesn't even have to be, we know there's probably, I don't think there's really that much stuff there anyway, as far as like video and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. That's my kind of observations from what's been happening.
What's going on? Sorry, man.
Well, yeah, Alan, you make a great point. The thing that I would love to see is Live Without a Net. I would love to see an HD version of that, and also one where you can like choose different camera angles, like almost like you're in a production truck.
Oh,
And you see all the across the screen,
that would
and
be
you can
great.
like go to them and pick like, okay, I want to watch the one that's focused on Al the whole time, or one that the one that goes in front of the whole. Like that would be super cool to be able to watch whatever camera you wanted to watch.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
I would love to see some live Roth stuff. I mean, I know they have it. I don't know why they have like back in the day. Not well. I would also see Tokyo Dome 2012 or something, even though it's not the same. But
yeah, I think that's some mythology right there. I personally don't think they have any real quality stuff with Roth, other than Oakland '81. I just don't think that they weren't spending that kind of money back then. They weren't filming every show. They weren't recording every show.
But didn't Michael Anthony say in an interview with Eddie Trunk a few years ago that at least they recorded like the soundboard. So, there'll be stereo mixes of a buttload of those shows back then. There should be at least.
Yeah. They could definitely make some awesome, live albums for sure.
But we'll see.
Did they like I know with for example with Aerosmith, they record every show with multi-angle cameras and Pro Tools like nowadays. Do you think that Van Halen did that in 2012 and 2015, or did they? No,
I don't know.
think so.
I don't know.
because it would be nice to get, even if they did it once, it would like as a kind of like, we know Eddie's sick, like once he passes, like maybe sometime in the future we'll release some footage. I'd like to be able to revisit that again, because I went to 5 of the shows and it was.
Well, there were so many cell phones out for all those reunion shows, and it's been covered from pretty much every angle, almost every show. I mean, it's there in stunning quality. I mean, it's just there, really.
Yeah, people will take like all the footage from a show, put it together with like the best audio that they have, and they'll kind of make a multi-angle, which is pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. I remember when I first saw people were doing that back in '98.
Oh wow!
With some of those shows, they were doing like taking different angles from different cameras, and And
I would love to see some like of the magnitude of Live Without Net. Where they
I wouldn't hold your breath.
No, yeah. And the other thing,
I can't imagine it.
You guys brought up Live Without Net. I like when they did the remasters. I don't think the Hagar stuff. I mean, how long do you think it'll be before they say, hey, we should actually do something with the Hagar material?
You'll see that sooner than later now.
Yeah.
That the remastered. That's the first thing you'll probably see done with any Van Halen stuff is remasters of all. They'll probably end up doing the whole thing again. The whole catalog will be remastered again.
Well, certainly the Sammy Hagar stuff. I mean, obviously they already, they already did the remasters with Brian Kehew, and I don't see them doing much more with the Roth albums, but certainly the Sammy albums, and like especially OU812, which had a horrible mastering process and
horrible
really
mix. Yeah, the mix is yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and that's got some great songs on it too.
Yeah, Johnny, pretty much anybody that knows me knows that I believe that OU812 was the last Van Halen album, and I don't acknowledge anything that happened afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah, no. Besides like I would almost agree with you, except for like, I do like stuff like Right Now, and then a different kind of truth is, it's good listening. I think it's not really in the same vein as a Van Halen album, but I will listen to it. I love listening to Eddie's stuff on that. Too much Wah, though.
Man, you don't like Carnal Knowledge, man? Damn. I was listening. I had that blasting yesterday for a while. And in my opinion,
oh yeah.
And I'll just talk about the Sammy records. I think that, even though 5150 is probably my favorite record of all time, Carnal Knowledge might be the most like I don't want to say mature as far as like the songwriting and how every song really is just like completely different. But I don't know. It's not like my favorite Van Halen album, but I don't know.
This Dream Is Over is on that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you brought up a good point. I take that back. There's some good stuff after You Ain't.
I mean, everything is subjective anyway,
What about the? I think we'd all like to forget Van Halen 3 though.
Well, hey, we're not doing negative stuff on here. Come on, we're trying to keep it positive and celebrate the Eddie Van Halen here.
Well, one thing that I do think is obviously coming real soon is your tribute issues of Guitar World for sure.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, that's the stuff that's coming pretty immediately, and that kind of leads back into why I hope that at some point the I don't know. You guys know that I just work on the transcriptions all the time, and I would hope that they do something with that and kind of correct the problems that existed with the other transcription books, and or even if Guitar World does does a tribute issue, I hope that whatever they put in there as far as transcriptions are even marginally correct, because it's like, people just don't have a clue, and that's just my last nerve right there.
They need to get them from you. That's why.
Well, if they ask me, I'll give them, but
Well, knowing how that business runs, though, if it's a song that they've already put in one of those magazines back from like the 90s or something, they'll probably just recycle the same transcription.
That's likely. I will say that there have been instances where they've gone back and redone the same song and gotten closer. Like, when I did my Eruption project, I went back and looked at all the transcriptions and all the magazines over the years of that tune, and there were several versions in different magazines, and they got some. I don't know. They improved in some ways, and then in other ways they still were lacking. But I don't think the fact that it's well-known songs would prevent them from. I would hope that they take a fresh look at it. I would hope they did that with my logic has always been behind that is that they did that with Hendrix, and they should do it with him, because to me Eddie's like maybe possibly second only to Hendrix. At least he's kind of on the same level as that, in my opinion. And there's been a never-ending slew of attempts at transcribing Hendrix, and I always talk about Andy Aladort's the only guy that really transcribed Hendrix perfectly, and somebody needs to do that with Eddie's catalog. It's just as important as Hendrix, I think.
So how close was Steve Vai's transcription of Eruption?
Oh, you may know, and of course that's a leading question. Thank you. I would say that anybody that has seriously looked at the transcriptions, and if anybody has seen the Steve Vai transcription, knows it's pretty darn laughable. I mean, it's the worst. It was the first attempt, but it was also the worst. It's the first and the worst. And I think he might maybe agree with that assessment. But I mean, there's a lot of situations where the guys that were doing the transcriptions, it's not like they were a nerd like me that would sit in a cave working on this for decades, literally on just that for decades. These are professional musicians that had a deadline to meet in a magazine, and they were probably told like 3 weeks before the issue came out, oh, you're going to transcribe Eruption. You know what I mean? That's not the kind of thing you can do in 3 or 4 weeks. You have to have it. It's really takes a lot more time and debate and research, and it takes a lot to do it, and I don't blame them for getting it wrong, but I think at this point, he just needs the actual music should be examined as closely as the music of Hendrix was examined, and I just don't see why they can't do that.
I bet if they want to bounce stuff off some, obviously not at this time, like it's just in the future, but I bet like if you watch Wolfie play guitar in some clips, like even the way he taps and stuff, his tone is similar. And I bet like Eddie, when he was teaching him, like taught him certain, I don't know, fingering positions and stuff. So they could probably, someone like you could come to Wolfie and say, hey, I have this transcription. And then he could probably pick it out and say, oh, my dad would never, play anything like this.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Wolfie probably knows. Well, I know for a fact that he knows how to play probably almost the entire catalog accurately on guitar. I mean, Eddie has pretty much said that, and I think you're absolutely right. Wolfie would really know it probably better than a lot of people. I think people would be surprised at how well he knows it, but I mean, maybe not surprised, because a lot of people jump to the conclusion that Eddie showed him how to play everything, but I think he did.
Well, he grew up.
Wolfie showed. I think Wolfie ended up showing Eddie how to play things.
Yeah. I think Wolfie even posts a few clips where he was joking with Ed because Ed forgot to, play some stuff, and he's like, "Oh, you do this." I was watching him the other day. He was laughing at him.
Yeah, there was an Instagram. Yeah. No, I'm sure Wolfgang. you know, he know he grew up watching Eddie play guitar every day. You know, for what 30 years.
And the other thing too is like if Wolfgang like went to Ed and it's like, hey, hey Dad, you forgot this part. I think it's like this, and then Eddie plays it. He's bound to be like, oh no, it's like this. You're close, but it's like this. And he probably had those aha moments like almost every time. So I would bet when Wolf is showing him stuff,
Yeah,
because
totally agree.
Yeah, I know if I forget, like, even just from, like, learn the catalog and then being like, oh, I haven't played, this, B track to, like, Fair Warning or something. Like,
So good.
Back and, yeah, I go back and I'll be like, oh, I forgot that. Then I play it a different way, and then I watch a video of Eddie doing it. I'm like, oh, no, it's close, but it's like this,
Dude, I've forgotten how to play my own stuff.
Same.
I've had to call my other guitar player up and ask him how to play riffs that I wrote, because I'm like, dude, what was this? How the hell did we play that one chord? And it happens. But guys, I hate to leave this party. I got to split. I got to take care of the dogs for a bit. I got to put Ellie to bed.
Jay, always a pleasure, man. Good to see
Maybe
you.
if you guys are on late tonight, maybe I'll swing back on. Maybe.
No, I just sent you a message.
Did you?
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
No, we're gonna wrap it up. I mean, just a few minutes.
Yeah, you guys.
Few minutes.
You guys have fun, and I'll if I can come back, I'll come back if you guys are still on, and if not, Alan, what's so funny?
That's my favorite phrase from Johnny. Couple few.
Oh, a couple few, yeah.
A couple few. That's an Eddie. That's an Eddie phrase.
Really?
Yeah.
I can only remember you saying that.
I've heard Michael Anthony say that before, but anyway, I'll see everybody tomorrow night if I don't see you later.
Cheers, Jay.
Dave,
Awesome.
Alan, Tyler, obviously Johnny. I'll talk to you guys later.
See you, bud.
See you, Jay.
Yeah, Tyler, that I love that what you just said, because you may know that the story of my life is what you talked about, how you learn the whole thing, you learn this, you learn that, and then you realize, guess what? I didn't know how to play that at all. It's literally the story of my life, and I keep going back and re-examining it, and I hope that that's what people will do, because his music is so great that it bears that kind of scrutiny and repeated learning. I mean, it hasn't been figured out. I don't care who you name online that you think is got it. They don't. There's still a lot.
And the other thing too is, even if someone got everything and they had, like, Eddie sat down and said, this is how I play everything, I don't think anyone could ever get his grooves, like they can get this close, but the way he syncopates, and even change it up slightly live, and that way he changes it up is like exactly what he's doing in the studio, because in the studio it's just one take of him playing something 10 times, and every 10 times he played it was slightly different groove wise.
Well, the groove wise thing, I understand what you're saying, but I think that's really because nobody's sitting there playing with Alex Van Halen, because those two people were one person. As far as groove and time, it wasn't Eddie's time, it wasn't Alex's time, it was their time together, and that's what made it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The other thing, I think you weren't here when I said this, but you were saying scrutinizing all this stuff. And before you were here, I don't know if you saw it, but I mentioned that Eddie once made a comment about how he tried transcribing all these people, and he could never get it perfect himself. So the stuff that he didn't get perfect became his own style, and those were his licks.
I remember him saying that. I mean, truthfully, I don't think Eddie could read or write a single note of music. Really, he struggled with that. So he never wrote anything down. But in terms of, like, he would listen to a record, figure it out as best as he could so that they could play it in the bar that night. He didn't do, except for the Eric Clapton and a few notable exceptions where he did learn everything completely 100% note for note, exactly as the original artist did it. But Yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying. But on the other side of that coin, though, is that he really did learn things exact, especially with Clapton. Everybody knows I talk about that all the time, but he learned a lot of things note for note. He learned how to, and Greg Renoff's book points out a bunch of stuff besides Clapton that he learned note for note, like the live version of "I'm Going Home" from 10 years after, from the Woodstock album. Eddie learned that note for note. He learned a lot of really important stuff that really informed his style note for note. 99.9% of which was Eric Clapton cream licks. But yeah.
Well, the thing that no one, you never really talk about this, that what I hear from the club days and studying other guys like Blackmore and Uli, like I really think that particularly Blackmore, there's a lot of licks that you'll listen to like now I'm forgetting the is it In Rock, the Deep Purple album with the mountain on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
with
In
like
Rock.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you listen to that, and you listen to some of the licks, like the da da da, and like the one that's that Eddie uses, that's in the like one of the sextuple licks that's in somebody get sorry I'm the one, and it is Somebody Get Me a Doctor too, where he's pulling off to the open strings, and it's like a lot of these licks, like wow, Blackmore had stuff that was like almost identical, so I think he took some stuff from Blackmore too. Maybe I heard some Uli John Roth stuff like Longing from Fire, that solo, Stales of Charon. There's a bit of, some of those bends and stuff. So I think there's a lot of guys that he didn't talk about that, he maybe not even intentionally, maybe they just covered so much stuff. He just, learn this solo, learn that solo, and then it just gets mashed together.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned, I don't know that he learned. I don't know how much Deep Purple he learned, but I think he did learn at least. I mean, he had mentioned that it was one of his favorite solos was Bloodsucker, so he mentioned that pretty recently. I would be willing to bet that he learned how to play that. He did a really good job on Man on the Silver Mountain for sure. Not lead wise though. I mean, I don't think he ever really was familiar with Uli and the Scorpions from those days.
I think they did. I can't remember, but they did like one or two. I think Steam Rock Fever and another one covering the days. There's like only two of them, but it was because it was the 70s. It was like coming out of the time that Uli. So like the tunes they happen to do with Uli. But I know like a lot of the Uli stuff I listen to, I'm like, wow, this is like really close to what Eddie did. Like,
yeah, they were all doing a lot of Les Paul, Jeff Beck type of hammer on pull off licks and lots of open strings. But I mean, I think Uli and Blackmore and Eddie kind of were on the same page, independent of each other. That's my opinion on that.
Alan, thanks again for your help on So This Is Love, by the way. Man, talk about a song I had to double back over again because I was not getting it, accurate enough. But I can't thank you enough for your help there.
Hey, my pleasure, man. I mean, but that goes for me on every song. I mean, everything. That's the cool thing about Eddie and why it's like, I think maybe that's why I'm not even really that emotional about it. There's so much stuff that he left to learn that I've still got, and I've been working on it for 40 years. If God willing, I have another 40 years ahead of me to try to keep working on it. And, it's like, there's so much work ahead that it's like, it doesn't even enter my mind, like the tragedy of the situation or anything like that. It's like, I just feel like, wow, life well lived. And that guy left so much, that's still yet to be discovered in his playing,
Have you found it hard to play the last couple of days at all, or are you playing a lot?
With my kid, I'm home with my kids like 24/7, and being the dad while my wife works from home like 12-15 hours a day online, and so I'm changing diapers, and I mean I was working on learning to play some Gordon Lightfoot songs the other day, like while my kid was asleep. So that was about as close as I've gotten. I mean, the last time I did a lot of playing was when I finished up the Eruption transcription that I've been working on for a long time. And that's been like over a year now, But I mean,
Do
I
you
do
have a
think I'm
Spanish
going to
fly
pick it up
too?
and start working some more and try to figure out a way to do it. It's tough with 2 kids. My daughter's 5 years old, just started kindergarten, and my son is 2.5, and he's like at the terrible 2 stage where he screams for no reason.
Oh man.
All the time. So it's rough, but I mean, with him passing, I just feel like extra motivated to get back in the saddle and start working on it again.
Do you have a Spanish fly transcription, like the acoustic, not like the live one?
That is actually my next project. I've worked on some of it, and I've gotten some. Spanish fly on the record is really weird. I worked for a bit and kind of consulted with Troy Grady from Pixelating Primer, Cracking the Code. I don't know if you've seen his videos. He's excellent.
Yeah, I've seen his stuff. Yeah,
he helped me with one really super key lick in Eruption, and somebody had get me a doctor that I had gotten wrong for 40 years, and he showed me how to do it. And he's the only person on the planet that I've ever seen do it right, and he showed me how to do it right, and that was only like about a year ago. That was the last thing that I added to my transcription after completing it. Troy is the master at breaking down everything there is to know about the best players, and I'm sure I'll be consulting with him when I did consult with him on Spanish Fly, and it's an incredibly tricky song piece, mostly because Eddie makes so many mistakes in the song that it's impossible. It's virtually impossible to transcribe it correctly. It's incredibly difficult. There's way more mistakes in that. But by mistakes, I mean, like, there's unintentional notes, there's muffled notes, there's strings being hit but not being fretted. But those mistakes add to the rhythm of it and the aggressiveness of it, and it's a reminder that it was like probably one of 2 or 3 times that he played it, and they just picked the best one. It's super tough. I have some basic things. I have some basic sketches of what to do, but getting it absolutely nailed note for note with all of the mistakes is a huge task. And I think that's what's going to be ahead of me, because that's the other major piece. That's another one that I actually started working on Spanish Fly before I started working on Eruption. So I've been working on Spanish Fly since I was about 11, and I'm 48 now.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's really
we
tough.
expect you to wrap it up about this week if you could do that for us all.
Yeah.
Do you publish these transcriptions, or where can we find them?
Johnny and Dave know I did my Eruption transcription. I put it on. I put a link to the PDF that you can print out on VH Links. And if you go to the sticky section on VH Links, you'll see my Eruption transcription. I think this thread is called My Eruption Transcription. And Brett helped me put a link on there so that people can just go and click on the PDF and print it out and work from it. That was a big, big project that took me a long, long, long time, and it cost me a lot of money because I used the same person that I'll be using to work on my transcriptions in the future. Guy that used to be the transcription editor for Guitar World and for several Guitar World publications, worked on it. But his services don't come cheap. He did not do it for free. I mean, I probably it was some hard work, and he worked incredibly hard, and it wasn't cheap.
Well, thanks for doing that for us.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like I do it for me, but then, if I can learn something, I'm happy to try to get it out there and get it in an area where somebody can get to it and not have to pay for it. Johnny knows this is old news for Dave and Johnny, but there's just a lot of people out there that like have done try to put products together where they're transcribing the stuff, and they really don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're ripping people off, and it pisses me off. So as far as I'm concerned, I just want to do the best I can do to get it right, and then put it out there and just let people have it for free. And which isn't to say that I'm God on Olympus, because like Tyler was saying, it's like 99.9%. I'm going to be wrong about something, and I will have something left to learn that I didn't get right, and I'll come back and re-examine it, and that's what I've been doing my whole life, and it's, I don't know whether anybody's going to care or who on the earth cares, but I'm just doing it for me and hopefully helping anybody out there who needs it.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of people that really appreciate your work as far as all that. And hey, Dan Willite, welcome, man, in the chat. Yeah. Let's see. We never did a roll call. Yeah, the last couple of videos have been kind of even more laid back than normal, you guys. But I don't know. I mean, I think where are we? Over 2 hours. I think.
Well, I appreciate you guys. It's nice to talk about all this stuff with you. For real. It's a good family we've got.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is. And I think we'll
Tyler, it's nice to finally meet you as well in person.
Me too.
Yeah. Look forward to listening to your work, and Alan, we'll talk soon, hopefully.
Absolutely, man. I'm trying to get the Johnny hand signals down. Remember when you used to do that? I don't know what. Yeah.
No,
Oh, don't give him the John McCain.
Oh my gosh.
I sincerely appreciate the laughs tonight, though. I honestly needed something uplifting here, and thanks Johnny, for being such a great host as always.
Oh, dude. I mean, you guys are welcome. And yeah, don't hang up yet, you guys. So quick announcements. I'll be doing 2 shows tomorrow. I'll be doing an earlier show with our friend Sean Silas. He has a new single out, and I think we'll be talking 10 o'clock Eastern, I think, is when that'll be. And then, of course, our Saturday Night Live with your host John BL, midnight Eastern. So thank you everybody for watching, and it's been a tough week, but it's we're all coming together here. So, huh?
No, it's my son saying he needs me to fix his excavator toy.
What is that?
Let's see if you can see it. It's this.
Oh,
It's like a toy excavator.
That looks like you would fix something else with that.
I think you should stripe it.
Oh no.
Bumblebee. I'll fix it.
Okay, Mike Cheever. I'll do that. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you so much. And I don't know. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. And Bent Tom, I'll add your name to the card as soon as I can. As far as channel members. All right. Good night, everybody.